What's up YouTube, Day Heavens F Wargames, bringing you a deck profile that I've been waiting a long time to bring you, and that is Cubics. So, foolishly enough, I don't understand what Konami were thinking, but they gave us all the Cubic cards except Doozer, so we had to wait for the movie special edition, which came out when the movie was released, but we got the movie packs well before that. Anyway, now that I've got the Doozer, I then try and find Reoccurring Nightmare, and it is impossible to find, but I finally picked up two. Now, you don't have to play Reoccurring Nightmare in the deck, but it certainly helps quite a bit. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight into it. So, unfortunately, these aren't as broken as they were in the movie, but they're still pretty good. So you play triple Doozer, the Meter Cubic Vessel. This is basically your Foolish Burial for the deck, and helps get you going. He is the only other one apart from Vijan the Cubic Seed that could be normal summoned or set. Vijan the Cubic Seed can't be destroyed by battle, and when it battles an opponent's monster, you can put this into the spell and trap card zone, equipping it to the monster that attacked it, and put a Cubic Seed on it. Oh, Cubic Counter, sorry. Triple Crimson Nova the Dark Cubic Lord. This is your burner. This guy wins you games. This card is insane. So, cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned from your hand by revealing 3 other Cubic cards in your hand with different names, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Unaffected by other monster effects, other monsters' activated effects, whose original attack is 3,000 or less. When this attacking card destroys a monster by battle, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack during this battle phase. During your end phase, each player takes 3,000 damage. You can only use this effect once per turn. So he wins you games. It's straightforward. Now, there's a couple of ways to get this guy out. I've kind of gone as pure as I possibly can with the deck, but you can use Elemental Hero Prisma to dump this guy in grave and make your make your Reoccurring Nightmares active. There we go. Sorry, brain fart. Make your Reoccurring Nightmares active. You can also play Armageddon Knight if you wish to as well. So it's either or, whichever one you prefer. 2 Buster, the Cubic Behemoth. Now this guy requires 3 Cubic monsters you control to the graveyard and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If summoned this way, this card gains 3,000 attack. This card can make a second and third attack during each battle phase. If this card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, battle, or effect, you can target 3 Cubic monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. Then you can add 1 Cubic card from your deck to your hand. 1 Garnex. This guy basically can normal summon or set from your hand by sending 1 Cubic monster you control to the graveyard. If summoned this way, it gains 1,000 attack. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can target up to 2 Vijan the Cubic Seed in your graveyard. Try and get the glare off for you. In your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do special summon those seeds, then you can add 1 Blade Garudia, the Cubic Beast, from your deck to your hand. Next up, we play 1 Gira Glued, the Cubic King. This requires 1 Cubic monster as well. If summoned this way, this card gains 800 attack. If this card is special summoned from the hand, inflicts 800 damage to your opponent. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target up to 2 Vijan Cubic Seeds in your graveyard. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do special summon them, then you can add 1 Vulcan Dragon, the Cubic King. 1 Indoria, the Volt Cubic Emperor. So again, requires 3 Cubic monsters and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If summoned this way, this card gains 2,400 attack. If this card is special summoned from the hand, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. If this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, by battle or effect, target up to 3 Cubic monsters in the graveyard, special summon, and then you can add 1 Cubic card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then finally, to round it up, you play 2 Summon 1, because obviously you play a heck of a lot of spells, and you dump a spell, get your Doozer out, and you've got a rake 4 play straight up, and your Doozer then gets a dump as well. Next up, triple Cubic Wave. So target 1 Cubic monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. The attack of that monster you control becomes double its current attack, and if it does, the attack of that monster your opponent controls becomes half its current attack. Very, very nice. You can banish this card and any number of Cubic monsters from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster you control. Target face-up monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of those banished Cubic monsters. Place 1 Cubic counter on each of them. Monsters with a Cubic counter cannot attack, also negate their effects. That works very well in tangent with, when we get to it, Cubic Karma. So Cubic Karma, when this card is activated, you can target one Cubic monster you control, except the Cubic Seed. Send any number of VJam Cubic Seeds from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. Then that monster gains 800 attack for each, even if this card leaves the field, which is very, very good, because straight away if you're sending 3 Cubic Seeds, you add them to your Doozer's going up to about 4,000 attack, if my math is right. During your opponent's turn, if the VJ and the Cubic Seed is special summoned by the effect of a Cubic monster, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, halve your opponent's life points. Ouch. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Cubic monster from your deck to your hand. So, those 2 spells work massively well in tangent with Foolish Burial of Goods. Send 1 spell or trap card to the graveyard. Very, very nice. It also works well with the Unification card as well. Double Twin Twister. Double Reoccurring Nightmare, the pain in the arse, the money card in this deck. It's probably more of a pain in the arse and harder to get than bloody D barriers. It's that stupid. It's not as expensive, but it's still a pain in the arse to get hold of. So you select 2 monsters with 2 dark monsters with 0 defense in your graveyard, return them to your hand. So you bring back your big guy and your seeds. Where are you? You bring back the seeds and you bring back your Crimson Nova. Finishing up the spells, you've got the 1 instant, the 1 foolish, and the 1 Raigeki. Like I said, you can probably take the foolish out for a Armageddon Knight if you want, or for a Crimson Elemental Hero Prisma, just so you have more monster presence. Because at this moment in this deck, you've only got your 3 Doozers, your 3 Seeds, and your 2 Summoner Monks. So, triple unification of the Cubic Lords. Fusion summon 1 Cubic Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. If a face-up Cubic monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Cubic monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. So this helps you get more Cubics out, and like I said, it can be dumped with Foolish Burial of Goods. Double Solemn Strike, double D barrier, because they're just too strong in this game at this moment in time, and finishing up 1 Fusion Reserve. Now the reason you play 1 Fusion Reserve is because you reveal 1 Fusion monster in your extra deck and add 1 of the Fusion materials listed on that card from your deck to your hand. So you reveal Crimson Nova Trinity the Dark Cubic Lord, and you get to add 1 Crimson Nova the Dark Cubic Lord from your hand. Let's say you open up with, but this is best case scenario, so be warned. You open up with 3 of any Cubic and 2 Crimson Novas. There we go. Any Cubic card. It doesn't have to be these monsters, but you can literally go reveal those 3 special, reveal those 3 special. Then if if this is going second, you go 3k. If it destroys a monster by battle, it then goes off and does more damage. End phase, burn 3k, game. You just OTK'd your opponent. Now, one other thing about this card as well is unaffected by other monsters' activated effects whose original attack is 3,000 or less. When this attacking card, and so it's unaffected pretty much by many cards. So that's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. Extra is very straightforward. So you play the 1 Crimson Nova Trinity the Dark Cubic Lord. You're never going to get into more than 1 of this. And then after that is pretty much a rank 10 and a rank 4 toolbox. So Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, Sky Palace Gang Ardea, number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Superdora, 1 Carriagona Knight, 2 Castells, 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare, 1 Cowboy just in case your burn isn't enough, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 number 35 Ravenous Tarantula, 1 Elder Entity Norden, a Diamond Dyer, and then your Utopia package. You know, your bigger boss monster is in your main deck, so you're not really want to be going into your extra deck as heavily, but you know, you've got the option with your Norden to be going into these guys. If you do end up with 2 Doozers on board, you've got this guy. Castell is just one of the best generic rank 4s. And then if you create your big monsters, your Crimson Novas, and the burn will kill you, if you let them stay until the end phase, overlay them into Gustav Max, and Gustav Max burn your opponent for 2k to finish them off. So you do have other alternatives. And like I said, it's very, very straightforward with the extra deck. Very, very to the point. So, thanks for watching. I hope this kind of helps. I hope this gives you an idea. I have wanted to build Cubics for such a long time, and I will be doing test dance just so you can see how this deck does and how it works. I do apologise it's taken so long to get up here. So, you know, I hope it helps, and I hope it gives you guys an idea out there. Now, I will say this quickly. This is all budget, apart from, obviously, these are optional. You don't have to play these cards. If you're on a tight budget, you can get all of these very, very cheap. You can take your YUGIOH out for a Dark Hole. Instant Fusions are hiss easy to get. Recurrent Eyes, you don't have to play. You don't have to. But, and they're stupidly expensive at the moment as they are. So if you can't get hold of these, get rid of them. You can put in some other alternatives. You just don't rely on dumping as much as possible. I would probably advise putting Fusion Reserve up more. You'd probably want more draw cards where you plus rather than rather than being negatives. I know Foolish Barrel goods can be quite high as well, so you can probably take 1 or 2 of those out and try and make it as cheap as you possibly can. Which is a real shame, because the deck that's purely for fun has been ruined because there's some stupid high card costs in there. But anyway, that is it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.